Hey everybody, it's Ad the Red. Let's play a game, shall we? I'm here with Treasure of a Blizzard. It's a visual novel. That's really all I know. That she's got like, I don't know if she's just like kitsune ears or, tail or whatever, but I mean, I figured now that it's really properly winter, I should go ahead and give it a try. Good as an excuse as any, considering that it's been sitting in my library for I don't know how long. So yeah, let's just go ahead and click a new game, and I don't know what to expect. I usually see nightmares. Yeah, actually, that's pretty apt. I do typically tend to see nightmares a lot. Yes, and it comes in many forms. Okay then. But sometimes I see quite pleasant dreams. It was fun to peep at Lynn in that bathroom. Okay, great. Um, hey, what's the matter with you? Wake up already, you lie-a-bed. I felt my body being shoved around. Normally I'd be annoyed by the treatment. This time it was a welcome relief. Jeez, did you open your eyes already? We need to get a move on before this weather gets any worse. We're not gonna make it to the pass at this rate. Trees! Ah, so you're the... Oh. Opening my eyes, I caught my first sight of the day, a very grumpy Lynn. Oh, it's just you. Wait, Kang, is this supposed to be me? You know, there aren't a whole lot of people who want to wake up to a mean mug like yours. Hey, don't look like that. Lynn and I have known each other for so long, this has become the sort of thing that passes for a cheerful morning greeting between us. Well, you'll just have to deal with it. The sooner we get to the capital, the sooner I'll be out of your hair. See? She's hardly phased. I'd be more worried if she were to actually act nice to me for once. You don't look like you slept well. Nightmares again? Hey, don't watch me sleep, it's creepy. Okay. Might have gone too far with that one. Taking to her feet with a huff, Lynn started on her way in silence, threatening to leave me behind. Luckily, I packed most of our things before sleeping anyway. Not that catching up to her was going to be too difficult no matter what I did. Did you bring a shirt out here in the cold? Man, this takes me back. Last time we saw each other, we were fighting over petty stuff like this too. It's amazing how this woman can hold a 3-year grudge. I don't go think I don't like her, because I do. She's just way too fun to mess with, that's all. I had to pick up the pace though, or she really wasn't leaving me behind. With our stuff too. What was she going to do if I didn't follow her? I don't know, leave your ass to die out here in the cold. Hey, so what was you heard about this place earlier? You said you were going to tell me. Oh, I know that look. She's trying to decide whether she wants to talk or keep sulking. Maybe she doesn't even remember what I'm talking about. Nah, she definitely does. She's way too keen on the pointless details to forget. Oh, so now you want to hear about it? Still giving me a hard time. She thinks I'm just trying to distract her from our squabbling. It's late in the summer. Why is it so cold around here? Even the mountains should only be capped a little bit this time of year. What if the high snowdrifts in this pass? This weather is too unnatural. Maybe you should have asked your drinking buddy about it. I swear you're so tuned out sometimes. But you should pay more attention when people are talking about this kind of stuff. Well, she's got me there. At least you can admit that much. Have you run any dire wolves before? You should have at least seen a few if you were patrolling the border. Are we in RuneScape? They say the wolves are gathering into larger packs. Imagine that. Even alone or in pairs are dangerous beasts. If they start hunting together, we're in trouble. As usual, Lynn was worrying herself about the wrong things. She lets any silly rumor get to her easily. I was more concerned with this harsh winter that wouldn't go away. Fimbul winter. I'm not worried about wolves. I know where the snow's coming from. You didn't know? Then maybe you'll find this a little more interesting. There's a spirit haunt in these mountains. The ghost of some poor soul who died trying to cross the range. Maybe they're trying to scare travelers away. Maybe they want to steal our bodies so they can walk among the living again. I couldn't be sure whether Lynn was trying harder to scare me or herself. She's having a hard time keeping her composure while she spoke. Best not to cross paths with him then. We know how weak you are when it comes to magic. Widening your eyes, then went pale with worry. Well, turnabout's fair play after all. You're not scaring me. I'm a soldier, not a kid. Careful, Lynn. Better not let your commander see you like this. At least she was ready to drop the act. Anyway, the pass is always like this. It snows here year round. Didn't you know that? Yeah. Might seem a little strange since the mountains not far from here aren't barren to snow like this, but that's how it is. By the way, I've heard that the beastmen are getting more active lately. No wonder they should be dug into their holes, not wandering around like this. Maybe it's got something to do with the wolves. Hey, you're not listening, are you? Something, beast, wolves, etc., and so forth. Of course I wasn't listening. I felt a gust of warm air and was looking for its source. They weren't really dressed right for the cold. Well, she at least seems to have long sleeves. You've just got the cape. I hadn't been expecting it, and I guess Lynn was just planning to tough it out. Dude, it looks like she's more prepared than you are. High neck, I don't know what she's wearing, you know, below the waist kind of thing, if it's skirt or pants, but what? You know. Finally, I caught sight of what I've been looking for. Hey, there's steam over there. Hot spring, maybe? We could use a chance to warm up. Lynn scowled. As much as she didn't like being ignored, it was obvious the cold was getting to be too much for her. She couldn't stop herself from shaking in the snow. What the hell is wrong with me? I just feel tired lately. If you need a break, just say so. But you know, we've only been on the trail for about an hour. You're not going to make the cold go away by sitting in it every time we get a little uncomfortable. I guess we'll need to start a fire here. But who we found a fallen tree to the source of the spring was good enough to keep us off the ground. We stopped at least. Okay, wait. Oh, we were up under the spring's geyser, so I figured we could take shelter by it without getting sprayed too much. After checking to see that she wouldn't be disturbing any nest of frostbite ants, Lynn found the place to seat herself and open up her pack. I couldn't blame her for being cautious. Those things rightly earned their name with the venom in their pincers. She said about slicing herself a meal of some bread and cheese. None for me, I guess. Lynn's gonna be surprisingly thoughtless sometimes. Weren't you in a hurry to get to the capital? She didn't wait for my reply before satisfying her hunger. Would you be in this kind of situation? Losing my patience, I snatched Lynn's dagger away from her and claimed my share of our rations. Food really blinds this woman to everything around her. I know you're not happy about all this, but you don't have to really have a choice if you want to help your father. Exposition. What kind of idiot openly offers to aid rebels anyway? All this trouble's his own doing. Abrupt tone shift in the music, okay. I had a hard time choking down my meal after hearing her words. Lynn knew better than that. Father may have been too generous, too naive, but he only thought he was helping refugees. How could he have known he'd be charged with harboring enemies of the Imperium? Don't worry, you're not under that much suspicion. You might have to be guarded to make sure you don't try anything rash, that's all. You're not an enemy of the state yet. Keyword yet. I wish you'd served me in the capital instead of coming way out here. We could have settled this matter much faster. Nobody would be doubting you now. The situation's only harder than it has to be because you're so stubborn. You again with this. How many times did I tell you this isn't happening? It isn't happening. I'm not gonna hang back in the comfort of the city just to grovel for breadcrumbs to the feet of some posh nobles. Yawn. Fuck. God. Nah. Before I could realize it, Lynn grabbed me by the collar and threw me down hard. I definitely went too far with that one. If you have something to say, just come out with it. You got a problem with the way I live my life? Burst of steam hissed over Lynn's words and a spout of hot water erupted behind her. Standing over me as she wound up shielding me from getting hosed down with a blast. Rotten luck on her part, it seemed. Oh, damn it. The shock had knocked her off her feet. With her being half soaked, the bitter air quickly stole away most of the warmth she managed to gather as soon as we stopped. Hey, you alright? Thanks to Lynn, I'd barely been touched with the sudden spout. After making sure that the eruption was finished, I decided to check on Lynn to see how bad she got it. Her back was still hot, but she was definitely too wet for the weather now. She couldn't be left like this. I'm fine. Well, that does it. She's definitely not gonna be okay unless I do something like that. Unless I do something. Though I hated to part with it, I took off my cloak and offered it to her. Stop it. I don't need that. You take it. What a charity case? She pushed herself away from me and sat down off the fallen tree. Though she stubbornly tried not to, she couldn't help but shiver again. She glanced at me for a moment and quickly looked away. Idiot. What was she trying to prove? Also, just giving her the cloak wouldn't help, because the problem here is that if her clothes are soaked through, they need to dry, or else they're just going to get colder, you know? The water, the moisture is just going to freeze, and then then you're kind of done. Hey, don't be stupid, you're soaked. You know more than I do. What she needs is a fire to dry this off, and the cloak could, in the meantime, give her some amount of shelter along with the fire. I'm not an expert in survival situations, but that's kind of what popped into my mind, so if I'm wrong, don't quote me on it. Why? So you tell me how much I grovel for scraps? Don't bother, I can... She wanted to be obstinate, and that was her business. But my business was that I wasn't going to let her freeze to death because she wanted to be childish. Not waiting for her to complain anymore, I threw my cloak over her whether she wanted me to or not. Probably a little too forcefully. No, definitely too forcefully. I slipped on the soaked ground and fell off my feet into a pile of powdery snow. I looked to find that Lynn had taken the cloak off and lowered it onto me. Hey, I'm the one trying to help you out here. I wasn't a sound thief from the comfortable city. A little bit of harsh climate wasn't going to hurt me. But Lynn was a different matter. Stubborn as she wasn't taking the situation or her health seriously enough. Fine. Do you want us to make a stupid game out of this? I'll play it. I kept quiet and waited for her to break, so she had to speak first. I didn't ask you to. Ellipses. What? Time for the nap already? Oh, stop that. Don't be stubborn. Now you really will need to wear that cloak. Finally, she approached me and held out her hand to help me up. Oh. Interesting angle. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? What? Does this have to do with, like, the way that she isn't addressing the fact that she's cold? Or is because she's helping? Well, I don't understand what this is supposed to be implying. Like, what direction this is being aimed in. It's kind of like there's a couple different ways you could read into it. I'll just answer softly. You're still the same girl, a character I liked once. You remember us fighting in the snowdrifts? What are you talking about? I don't know. Maybe he's just lost his mind in the cold. I remember. Lynn got even far redder and turned aside. Probably her mood got even worse than mine had been. I stood up and offered my cloak once again. Lynn, come on, for our childhood friendship's sake, take the cloak. Your stubbornness will make everything worse. Not looking at me, she stretched her hand and took the warm cloak. Having put it on, she awkwardly took back the map. We need to go that way. Her quiet voice was hardly heard. Maybe her cold was even worse than I expected. It's okay. I have never seen people actually, quote-unquote, catch cold that fast. I'm someone who's worked in, not only freezing weather, but freezing rain. And it sucks. I mean, like, it's hell on the morale. It feels like shit. But then you just get inside and you take off your wet clothes and you put on something dry and just slowly warm yourself back up. And that's it. You're fine. I've never gotten sick because of the cold. Lynn, won't you light a campfire and make yourself warm? You should have lit the campfire to dry the clothes. Never mind. She quickly negatively shook her head and, putting away the map, moved to the way she had pointed before. I quickly gathered the belongings and followed her. Probably I should have insisted on the longer haul, but right now Lynn doesn't look to be in the mood to be persuaded easily. Neither one of you look to be very, prone to smart decision making, so... Okay, day for night, why is it purple? The sun had crept over the mountain bridge beyond our reach, taking over the last of our daylight with it. I like the music though, this is nice. I was really starting to get worried about Lynn. As much as she had tried to hide it even with the cloak, she was in a bad way. If she kept pushing herself like this, she would be in no condition to travel tomorrow. Hey, think we should share a blanket tonight? Yes, that would also be the thing. Start a fire, get like a dry blanket or cloak if it's still dry, and then use that to huddle together without a whole lot of layers between the two of you, so that you can share body heat, and then the covering you're using will act as an insulator. Bleh. Just don't let this turn into a shitty fanfic lemon, you know? We need to share warmth, share a blanket to keep warm, blah, blah, blah. And then a few minutes later, my poor impression of the clapping cheeks. Without a word, Lynn drew her sword and came just shy of skewering me with it. I guess that was her answer. Oh, looks like she was still mad about earlier. Hey, don't look at me like that. It's too frigid to sleep alone out here. I'm just telling you to stay warm so we won't die overnight. Before I could finish, I picked up on some movement out of the corner of my eye. Something was watching us in the tree line. It's a Wendigo! Hey, did you see that? The culprit, a lone striped deer, no, just a knot deer, came into my view and took off as quickly as it had come. Strange, it didn't seem that we were the ones who spooked it. Hey, how about you at least look me in the eye when you try to smooth things over your dumb lies? I'm trying to tell you, it's not like that. The freezing wind suddenly picked up, cutting through us like a knife's edge. It howled as it carved through the pass. Hey, weren't you saying something about the wolves hunting a bigger pack before? It occurred to me that Lynn's sword was the only weapon between us. Even on the... Why don't you have some kind of defensive implement out here in the wilderness? Are you dumb? Or are you actually a mage or something? Even on the... In that case, you would technically have some kind of offensive ability, or at least defense. Unless you're a shit wizard. Sorcerer, whatever. Even on the border, there were guys like her, who like to tell stories about monsters terrorizing whole squads of armed men. I didn't buy any of the tall tales, but even a normal pack of wolves would be a serious problem if I didn't have a way to defend myself. I didn't wait for Lynn to give me her answer. Okay, so no, it just sounds like you're an idiot. Calling her bluff, I brushed her sword aside and took her by the hand. We shouldn't hang around these parts too long. We need to find some shelter or at least safety. Stay out of their hunting grounds so they don't mistake us for a meal. Lynn sheathed her sword. I noticed out of the corner of my eye her face getting redder than usual. You feel worse, don't you? If you like, I can carry you in my arms. However, if she feels sick, I can carry her too. At least I experienced worse situations when I was in army. Wait a minute, so you were a soldier, but you're not smart to bring a weapon with... Uh-huh. Okay. Maybe you got kicked out of the army because you're an idiot. No, go on ahead, you fool. Oh, go ahead, go. Fly, you fool. Oh, clicked off the thing. Screen. Game. She pushed my arm away and made the distance between us larger. Okay, now she's moving all by herself without staggering. It's better to be alert for something unexpected. We kept going further toward the mountainous pass as quickly as the snowstorm would allow us. Right. Well, I'm gonna end the episode here. So far it's interesting. I'm just curious. I don't, we've had a brief moment of exposition. That was about it. So, but in any case, I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you in whatever the hell I do next. Be it more of this, something else. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. And like I said, see you next time.